I don't have a car. I use a bike to get everywhere. It really becomes a lifestyle. Ned and I have been running and riding through the city of Melbourne for about 4 years, and we're very confident now. My name's Nick, and this is Ned. Ned and Nick are pretty similar names, and he's always getting called Nick and I'm always getting called Ned, and actually this morning I called him Nick. It's true. I found Ned in one of the animal refuges, and I had to do a lot of talking to convince them that I could have a kelpie living in the middle of the central business district of a big city. They didn't think it was suitable. In fact, he's the best exercise dog who gets out and about more than any other dog. When I lived in the suburbs, I couldn't have had a dog because it would have been stuck at home while I went off to work every day. So living in the city, in a funny sort of way, works perfectly. He comes to work with me, he sits in the office. The parks and gardens are right there and we can be there twice a day. And the half an hour or the hour that most people spend commuting to work, I spend in the park and along the river with the dog. It actually works extremely well. Once I got the idea that you could have a dog that could go with you on the bicycle everywhere, it became a question of what type of dog and which particular dog to find. I wanted a 1-year-old dog because I didn't want to go through all that puppy training, and you can't work them until they're about a year old. His work is with traffic, not marshalling sheep or putting sheep in a pen. His work is to safely navigate on the streets. And it is work. He is a working dog because he's doing tasks, he's taking commands, and being a kelpie, he loves it. That's his life. So he's a very satisfied, happy dog. Training a dog to run with the bike, it's just like training a dog in any other situation. He's a sheepdog, and they train them to do all sorts of things. Sheepdogs are amazing. So you teach him commands. He knows words like left and right and straight ahead. There's a gesture for putting him back on the footpath. There's a whistle for getting him up close to the bike. And just invent these things as you go along, and you teach them through repetition. For example, taking Ned through a roundabout, especially doing a turn, is quite tricky. It involves several commands. You start out by bringing him up close with a whistle. And as we go into the roundabout, he's got to stay very close to me. It's important that he doesn't go straight ahead when I'm turning right. So I use the command right to make him come right with me. As we go around, he's got to know where to leave the roundabout. So I use the command OK to tell him to go onto the footpath, or I might click him on the footpath. That's his command, to go on the footpath. And we get to the other side and it's just back along the road again. Every now and again, I'll forget to give him a command, and that's a worry. That's the times when something dangerous could happen. It's always me that fails, never the dog. I mean, as a cyclist, an experienced cyclist, you control your environment. You know what every car is doing, you know where they're going, and you don't leave anything to chance. So having a dog isn't actually that hard. You're always looking around, you know where everything is, the dog's just part of that. So it doesn't actually make it any harder. And it certainly makes it a lot more fun. So just going down to the supermarket becomes an adventure. And even the runs that you do frequently are always fun. So you know when your dog's enjoying himself, he's got a grin on his face. And when you're out and about and he's having a good time, he'll look up at me and I'll look down at him, exchange a glance. It's a very moment. There's also this tremendous feeling when you've been on a ride and you've gone somewhere and you've piloted the dog through roundabouts and busy intersections and places where we've never been, and you get home and you think that was just a tour de force. He's just done it so well. So it's always fun and exciting. Every day when we go out, it's so important that we work together. And so that, I guess, that interdependence, that conversation we're having all the time, working closely together just to get down the street, makes you very close. And I have a bit of a joke with my girlfriend that he's certainly the most important person in my life. It was never part of the concept to become a character around the town or anything. In fact, having a dog off lead is illegal. And so the idea is to keep a low profile as much as possible. but it's a bit impossible to keep a low profile when you go up the busiest street in the city with your dog. I have people chat to me and don't know who I am, and then they see the dog and they say, "Oh, I've seen you." They recognise the dog, not me. So apparently we're quite well known. I think that's rather fun. You know, it's a bit of Melbourne, it's a bit of community, and we love it.